To name every player on the screen.
I'll have to go to TG4 and win that.
Oh god, man, this is a throwback and a half. Okay, a Rash on the bottom right. He was the very first good player I ever beat. Right here, first. He was my intro to top player wins, and the rest is history. And then I beat them all. Wade, welcome back to the sub pub, homie. Thank you. No, fun fact. Actually, I think about that all the time. Whenever I play a new game. I like to think, like, I work hard and I try to get better, but I know that the breakthrough is not going to happen until I get my first top win. That'll apply to everyone, right? Everyone who's playing Melee, they'll remember their first top player win or their first good player win, and then they start to rise after that, right? At least that's how it should go. But Arash, the first one I ever beat, I beat him at the X Games, but not the one that you've heard of. It was called, no, the V Games, where they had a nationwide tour offering $1,000 at every event, and the nationals would be in Las Vegas for $30,000. And then right before the nationals happened, they just canceled the whole event. They said, oh, they ran into legal trouble with the X Games, and then they just disappeared, and they didn't pay anyone shit. They just left. So, like, all that prize money that people won, even $1,000 prizes that they won at those satellite tournaments, the qualifying tournaments, they didn't pay those out either. No one got shit. And you know what? We just all accepted it. It's like, yep, this is esports. So when I say that I've been around in esports since the very beginning, I really fucking mean that. I don't just mean that because I was around for a long time. I mean, I was around in a scene that had nothing, where we would just accept a whole ass league leaving and not paying us a dime, saying, oh guys, we're getting sued by X Games, even though they weren't. See ya. And then not paying a fucking dime, and no one ever heard of them. No one knew the owners. Now we're over here yelling at Nintendo. Right? I get to write a tweet that gets like millions of impressions saying fuck Nintendo, and people have to listen, right? That's crazy to me, right? We came from a world where if an organization stole tens of thousands of dollars from us, we're like, yep, that's how it goes. All right, back to the garage tournaments, right, boys? Right, fellas? I said boys. I was trying to combine boys and fellas in my head. All right, but anyways, we've come a long way, right? And I think that's so cool. I think, who is this guy at the bottom? Is that Panda? I think that's Panda. That might be my first tournament loss ever. And by the way, the next time I played him, I four-stocked him, and I shook his hand. I looked him right in the eyes. I shook his hand, and he had no idea who the fuck I was. He was just like, "Oh, you're good, dude." I was like, "I don't think you remember, but you were my first tournament loss." And I just mixed your shit, bitch. Put some respect on my name. Should have stayed retired. I'm just kidding. He's the homie, actually. We're cool. Alright, this sexy man in the back, I remember his face, and I remember he was sexy, but I don't remember his name. He just kind of moved on. I don't know. This guy right here, oh man, I remember him too. I think he was a Marth player, and he was kind of good. He was like, if Ken was Frieza and a Rash, and, you know, Pedro, I'll talk about him soon, Manacloud, and the rest were, like, the Ginyu Force, you know, like Jace and shit like that. This guy, the Marth over here, he was like he was the blue-haired sexy guy. What was his name? I forget, right? He's kind of good, and you know he's good. Maybe, or the pink guy, Zarbon, yeah, Zarbon, or the pink guy. But, they were good, right? But you could tell they weren't on their level. And as long as you could get to, like, they wouldn't even look at you. They wouldn't even look in your direction until you were as good as this guy. You know what I mean? They didn't fuck with you at all. They weren't interested in your talents until you were as good as Zarbon. Hey, Mr. Vol, welcome back. Hey, thank you, homie. Appreciate that. I'm glad you're watching again. Alright, this is Helen, and this is Jenny, Ken's sisters. Oh, my first tournament elimination! Helen, she hit down on the C-stick with Peach as Ken and Manacloud laughed on the couch watching. And this is after I thought I would win the whole tournament, so, shit. That's how my professional career started. This is ManCloud. One of the most evil people I've ever met in my life. I have no love for him. He's actually, I think he used to be a piece of shit. I would hope that he isn't anymore. The East Coast hated him. We had to deal with him. The East Coast always talked shit on him. I remember Chillin' Dude would write the most vile shit. DA Westwood too, because they didn't have to deal with him, whereas we had to kiss his ass because he was the only tournament in town. So if we wanted to play this game, we had to deal with him. He was the original Nintendo. Just had the community by the balls. And then other people started hosting tournaments, and then he kind of lost his power. But he actually had power, which is weird. He was like kind of power hungry. He would make you, they would invite me over for training sessions for Melee, and I'd be so excited. Me and my brother would show up, and then they'd just play Mario Kart the whole time, or Mario Party, and they'd make us play it. And in my head, I'd be like, yo, bro, when's the Melee, man? I drove an hour. Man, I'm like a late high school kid. I barely could afford a car, and I'm using my gas mileage to play fucking Mario Kart? But I wouldn't say anything because they were the guys, right? And then he would make us watch his shitty, like, flash animation of Star Wars with Smash people as the characters. Like, General Grievous was Mewtwo King instead, and he would... It was weird, man. Like, you'd have to watch it and then pretend to laugh, and then you'd watch it every time you showed up. Yeah, like, it'd be... I'm not kidding. It was like D.A. West would be like Mace Windu. He'd put his face on Mace Windu, and he'd voice over the lines just like, oh, I fucked you up. And like, we'd watch it and be like, that's so Wes. And he'd like stare at you, seeing if you laughed at the thing or not, and you'd have to laugh, otherwise you didn't get to play Smash with them. It was fucking weird, man. And look, that's not the evil part. There were other things that were evil. Like, okay, evil's a big word, but there were things that I've talked about it on stream before. There was the classic. One of my favorites was when at a certain point, I was easily number 2 or number 3 in SoCal, behind Ken or DSF. Like, we would fluctuate on our rankings. Ken was number 1, but I was either number 2 or number 3. And I showed up to Ken's bi-weeklies all the time. And for 1 week in particular, one weekend, Ken was in Japan, that famous Japanese tournament where he played Bomb Soldier and he won that event. In the days leading up to that event, ManaCloud messages me on AIM, I guess, because that's what we used back then. He messages me and he says, "Hey, Hugs, you know, I hate to do this, but for this bi-weekly, we're gonna have to take about half of the money from the pot." And I was like, "Oh, why is that, ManaCloud?" And he goes, "Oh, you know, because you know, when we let you into our house, we all use electricity. We use our electricity that we pay for you guys."